Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Powe. I'm the Children and Young Adult Consultant with the Connecticut State Library. Thank you for joining me here today as we talk about the Summer Reading Impact Report for 2025. Just an information session going over what's changed, what's the same, which quite frankly is most of it, and answering any questions that anyone might have today. All right. Okay, so why do we even do this? An important and fair question. So the state library is required to report on any financial spending that was federally supported. State reported too, but because just about everything that I do is federally supported, that's what we're going to be talking about right now. So because we use federal funds to pay for access to things like the iRead Resource Guide, Read Squared, different things that people might use throughout their summer programming. I have to collect data on that use across the state of Connecticut and then report that off. And the summer reading report allows me to do that. So just kind of at the bare minimum, that is one of the reasons that we do this summer reading report. Also, some of you might remember, I believe it was last year, the Connecticut State Library shared DLD. We shared our 5-year strategic plan. Specifically in that plan are a multitude of mentions of collecting data and information to support summer reading and summer reading outcomes around the state of Connecticut. The 5-year strategic plan is available on our LibGuides for anyone who wasn't able to read it when we shared it, or maybe anyone who's been hired new to libraries since that information was shared out. But the same way that public libraries might have a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan or something like that, we are required to have one as well. We do update that every 5 years, and summer reading requirements are a part of the state library, DLDs in particular, strategic plan. So that is another reason why we have a summer reading report. And in addition to that, the annual report, which many of you might be familiar with, splits the fiscal year. There are 2 fiscal years, a state fiscal year and a federal fiscal year. The annual report splits the summer because the annual report is from July 1st through June 30th. 30 days has September, April 31st. I don't know how many days are in June. But the annual report that you all submit data for splits the summer from that July to June. So the programs, the attendance, any other information that's collected in the annual report is not going to have any summer programming that might have been done for the month of June because that will have been in the previous year's report. So having one summer reading report allows the individual libraries, as well as me for my own reporting, to look at summer as a whole. The annual report right now does not allow for that to happen. And that really has the potential to limit painting the full picture of summer reading and its impact in the state of Connecticut on Connecticut residents. So those are just some of the basic reasons that we have the summer report. I am keeping an eye on the chat, so if there are any questions that folks want to ask about that, feel free to drop them in, and I'm happy to address anything that I have answers to, or get back in touch with you if it's something that I don't have the answer to. What do we do with the data? So like I said, I have to write a report for IMLS. The report also does go to a bunch of folks in the state as well. But as I mentioned, we are required to report on the use of the spending of federal funds. So that is like the first and biggest thing that we do. We also create a statewide infographic of all the data that was compiled. So the infographic that's on the screen right now, and I'll show you how to access that. This is a culmination of all the summer reading data that I was able to collect across the state of Connecticut in 2024. And quite frankly, as the state library has been dealing with a lot of ramifications around what federal spending looks like now and what it might look like in the future, in various news podcast reports, Deborah Schonder went on a podcast and news reports. One of the first things that people always ask about is summer reading, and how the loss or addition of funding will affect summer reading, because it's such like a pinnacle part of public librarianship. And being able to show something like this, an infographic like this, of the reach of summer reading and programming and fundings really paints a picture to folks who are in various spheres of importance throughout the state and things like that, like, is an incredibly helpful thing. I've shared this infographic far and wide over the last couple of months. Oh, more people. So that is one thing. We also use data from we also use data from the summer reading report to make decisions around professional development. So this year, in February, we held our first summer reading symposium, and the decision to create that initiative came from data and comments that came in during the summer reading report. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome. This is being recorded. Don't worry about missing the first few minutes of it. You will be able to go back and watch it. Please allow 5-ish business days, because I have to download. We have to caption and sort of change things within the caption and then re-upload, and that can take a couple days around other things. Also, if you are joining us and your name says something like staff or something like that, please change it to, at the very least, like your first name, last initial, last name for my attendance. Thank you so much. Yes, so we use the information because there are sections for comments and information in the summer reading report. We use that to make professional development decisions. The summer symposium was one of those decisions that we made as a result of information that came in from the summer reading report. We also use the data to make financial decisions. So continuing to support things like Read Squared, the summer enrichment grants that we had, all of the decisions to utilize spending around those initiatives came from information, comments, questions, and concerns that came through from the summer reading data. So we make decisions around the information that we collect, particularly regarding what we won't support, what we will add, what we'll take away regarding summer supports from the state library. So that's what we do with the data. I believe in you. Come on. There we go. What's changed and what is the same? So due to some challenges with the Excel spreadsheet that we had to collect data that we've used for the last 5 or so years. Data will now be collected in a form as opposed to the Excel spreadsheet. I will go through that form. Someone has already submitted their summer reading data via the form, so it works. But I will be showing you the form, but that is perhaps the biggest change, but like, it's a form. You just plunk stuff into the empty spaces. In addition to that, we've added some impact and connection questions, which I will also go through when we reach that point where we're looking through the form.
I do actually know what I'm doing, and I'm hitting the mute button, and it was not.
Okay. So cool. Okay. So we let some more folks in. Great. So in addition to that, in the form, we've added a section for folks to add any photos that they want to share, which ultimately helps me keep everything all contained and in one spot. And we've added a section for suggestions for future needs, which I'll go through. So just a few extra little sections of the summer reading report. Everything else is the same. There are Everything else is the same, and I will show you that. I also want to take a moment to remind folks who either have forgotten or inform folks who, again, are new to the process that there is a program tracking spreadsheet that was created by our data coordinator, Barbara. This allows you to keep track of your programming, not just for summer, but for like the entire year. And there is a column that is added that a person can mark off. I believe it's just a yes or no if the program that you are reporting is something that you are identifying as a summer reading program. I also want to take this moment to say that there are 190 public libraries in the state of Connecticut and only 169 towns. And there are 190 ways that the libraries in this state do summer reading. So sometimes I will get questions on, is this a summer reading program? And I unfortunately haven't a clue because I'm not in the library. If you've decided that you're counting it as a summer reading program, go forth and count it as a summer reading program. I'm not gonna question you unless it's a program that you ran in like February. I might ask a question or two then. But this allows you to decide and mark if that program is something that you are deciding is a summer reading program. And then also within the same program tracking spreadsheet, there is a section where all of that data will calculate automatically, thus allowing you to more easily fill out my summer reading form. And again, as a reminder, and for folks who joined us a little late, the annual report splits the fiscal year. Thank you so much, Barbara, for sharing that. The annual report splits the fiscal year. So this chart that Barbara has created allows you to pull summer together, June through August or September, however long your summer programming is, to give you that data, because the way programs in general are counted in the summer reading or in the annual report is going to cut off split June and July, not allowing you to paint a clear picture of your whole summer. I hope that makes sense to people. Again, the chat is open for anyone to use to ask any questions that they may have. So let's go into the website, shall we? So I'm going to change my share here so that I can show you exactly what's gonna happen, theoretically. Alrighty. So here you will see this is and so I'm going to be looking to the side, folks. Sorry about that. But here you're going to see this is a summer with a library LibGuides page. This is my LibGuides page. And I am in particular on the reports section of this summer with the library LibGuides page. And here you are going to find that fact flyer that I shared in a slide. So if you are interested in taking a bit of a closer look at that to see what was happening in the summer of 2024 and 2023, you are welcome to do so. But I'm going to talk about the summer reading impact report for 2025, and we're going to go through that step by step. This is another shorter video that I had made just going through this impact report, but let's go ahead and do that together since we are all here right now. So I just have it pulled up in another screen here, but this link will open this page for you. Here's a little bit of information about the summer impact report. If you read the email that got you to this webinar, it's all mostly the same information. So I'm going to click begin. And like I said, just a form, folks. So we ask for things like, what's the name of your library? Click here, and it is a drop down. We do not put branches in here because we are looking for information on that library system as a whole. So if you are in Hartford, it's just Hartford. If you're in at the Ferguson, it's just the Ferguson. It's not going to be the individual branches. We ask for the person's first and last name, email address, and phone number, just in case there's any questions that I have. I know who I'm following up with. And then just like last year, the year before, and the year before that, the summer reading questions are broken up into grades or ages, I apologize, 0 to 5, 6 to 11, 12 to 18, 19 plus, and family. The reason that these ages are broken down as they are is because these are the way that IMLS wants to collect these age groups. If you ran a program for birth to age 8, just put it somewhere. The important thing to remember is that you don't duplicate programs. If you did the program once, you put it in one spot. Don't put it in two, because that's going to skew the information. If you ran a program for ages 7 to 12, either put it in 6 to 11 or 12 to 18. That's it. If we do a summer reading program for birth to grade 6, where does it go? Wherever you feel like you want to put it is the answer. Again, like I said, 190 different summer programs. I unfortunately can't quite answer all of these because every question is going to be a little bit different. What's important is that it goes in one spot. Some sixth graders might be 11 years old. So if you want to put it in 6 to 11, go forth in 6 to 11, just one time, track all the information one time. So the questions for each of these age groups and then family are all the same. Did you run a summer reading program? And when we say that, we mean tracking the books, pages, minutes, activities, whatever that might be, bingo board, game board, whatever it is. Did you run that for children ages 0 to 5? Yes or no? How many 0 to 5-year-old participants participated in that summer reading program? Again, the book tracking, the bingo boards, the game boards, however it is that you set it up. How many? This can only take a number. This cannot take words or some explanation. We're just looking for a number. How many total programs and activities did you run this summer? So if you ran life-size Candyland, if you ran a henna program, if you ran something, we all know what those summer programs are. How many of those did you run? And again, we're just looking for a number here. And then how many people attended those programs? We're just looking for a number. I'm looking and making sure, so I hope that makes some sense. Barbara, you are really pinch hitting. Thank you so much. I hope this makes sense, right? So up here, do we include passive programming? Yes, we do, because I am stating here programs and activities. Barbara's statistics sheet has a list of definitions. Programs are different from activities. Here in the summer, we are grouping them together. So yes, passive programs, take and makes, feel free to include that into the count here because we are listing programs and activities. When you're looking at Barbara's information, you'll see that it's differentiated between programs, which have a very specific definition, and activities, which have a very specific definition. Thank you, Debbie, for asking. Yep, offsite, onsite. You put the word program in there, Amy, so you got it. The word program is in there, activities in there. Go ahead and lock it in. I'm trying to make this as simple for folks as possible by not breaking that stuff out. Do outreach events count? Sure do. If you're counting them for, if you went to, your local green and, y'all, this is a lot. Okay. Do coloring pages count as activities? I mean, if you want them to, sure. Sure, if you want them to, that's fine. Um, so we'll note that the questions are exactly the same for each age group. I'm going to say again, only count it once in one spot. So if you really want to count these coloring pages, if you had coloring for birth to 12, either put it in birth to 5 or 6 to 11. Questions here for 12 to 18, exactly the same. Um, so in theory, the school visits that you're doing to promote summer are happening before your summer reading program has started. So no, because unless you're promoting summer reading at schools after you started your summer reading program, um, that would not that would not track for me. Okay, cool. We run monthly scavenger hunts. Would that count as a passive activity? Yes, a scavenger hunt is going to be a passive activity, unless there is direct interaction with a librarian or someone who's presenting the program at the same time. That's going to be an activity, but again, we're counting programs and activities in this spot, so that's perfectly fine. Um, Cool. Oh man, Barbara's coming through. Okay, so again, 19 plus, all the same questions. Now we have a family uh, programming section here because there are some libraries that don't do individually aged summer reading programs. They only do one big family program, right? So it would be, I'm Poe, it would be the Powe family who's reading and tracking and bingo boarding and all of that. So that's why this section is here, because there are libraries that make use of it, and we're doing the best we can to provide support for 190 libraries. Being a pretty small staff of people. So that's why this family is here. If you do not run a family summer reading program, then you are welcome to ignore this first question here. If you did run all ages programming that you would like to tell us about, you are welcome to give us that information in total programs and activities and total people attended. For these sections up here, you would select no and you would enter in 0. These questions here in the resource section are exactly the same as they've been for the last couple of years. Did you use Read Squared? If you didn't, what other program did you use? Beanstack, Google Form, whatever it might be. Did you use the iRead manual? Maybe because there were some programs in there, maybe some display boards in there. They've got some really great like letters to reach out to for partners. Did you make use of any of that? Yes or no? Did you use the governor's summer reading list? Maybe you just displayed it. Maybe you told people about it. Maybe you pulled the books out and like had them in a section. Did you use it? Yes or no? And again, these questions inform decisions that we make. Okay, so if our summer reading program is for ages birth through 12, it is better to put it into family or 6 through 12. Well, family includes adults and perhaps 17-year-olds, perhaps 13-year-olds, right? There might be a family of 5 with, one grown up, 2 grown ups, a 2-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 14-year-old. So family doesn't feel appropriate for that because this summer reading program for birth through age 12 is leaving out a chunk of the family. So perhaps 6 to 12 would make more sense there. Then here come some of the new questions. You're very welcome. So here come some of the new questions in a section that we've called impact and connection. So we are asking you what were the desired outcomes of your library summer program? Or in other words, what impacts did you want your summer program to have this year? Maybe you wanted to do more intergenerational programming and build intergenerational connection, and that's something that you were able to execute this summer through some of your summer programming. Maybe you wanted to expand your local partnerships over the summer and you partnered with, A, B, and C organization during summer. And so you can tell us that that's, what you were hoping to do. Maybe you were hoping to work more with teenagers and provide resources for job readiness for some of those kids who want to get their first job at 16. And so you did a lot of that over the summer, and that's what you share here. This outcomes and impact section is probably going to be different for every library. We're just asking again to paint a broader picture so we can find better ways to support. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate the degree to which your hope for outcomes were clearly achieved? That whatever that number feels to you is what you're going to hit there. What are you most proud about your summer's programming? How did you connect with partners in your community? What methods did you use to determine impact success? Right? Maybe just people are having a lot of fun and there were a lot of laughs. Maybe you made more connections with families over the summer. It's open-ended. Write what you feel like writing. Based on this year's outcomes, are you hoping to make any changes to the program next year? So this could potentially be a section where you ask for something from me. Maybe you need more training and information on building partnerships, talking points, ways to follow up, right? This is a section where you potentially might want to share some of that information. If you did the summer patron report, that can be uploaded here. I'll show you how to get to that information in a bit. And share your favorite story with us. I love reading these every year. I read every single one of them and typically take a quote or information from this section and put it into the infographic that we make, again, painting the picture of the whole summer every year. So love a good story. We've added some sections for you to share photos from your summer programming. We've given space for 3. If there are more that you want to share, you're welcome to email those to me. Make sure you've done your due diligence to get permissions to share these photos, but here's some space for them. And then the last 2 questions involve next year. What programs, services, or information can CSL, the state library, offer that we don't already? So something that we do not offer that you would like to see to build your library's capacity to better serve your community. And what current program, services, or information can CSL, the Connecticut State Library, expand upon? So what are we already offering, but it's not being offered in a way that you need? There's missing information. What can we expand upon to build your library's capacity to better serve your community? Note that there are not red stars next to anything under from the patron report down, or required. So note the word required is not next to these. You are not required to fill any of this out. If you don't want to, that's completely fine. We are just doing the best that we can to find a way to better serve our patrons, which are the librarians and library workers of Connecticut. And that's what some of this information's for. If you don't need or want anything, you don't need or want anything. If you do need or want something, this is your opportunity to let us know. So this is it. And then you can hit review and submit. Once you have submitted this, you will get an automatic email saying that your form has been submitted and I have received it. If you get that email, you are fine. I have received it. You are not then required to send me emails asking if I've received it. If you do not get an email, an automatic emailed reply saying that your information was received, you might want to get in touch with me so that I can double check. Perhaps you didn't get the email because of some IT setups on your end, or there was a glitch in the matrix and something went wrong. But if you receive that email, check your spam, then you are fine. So this is the report. I'm going to pause for a moment to see if there are any questions about these questions other than the ones that have come in, or how to physically submit this report. All right, no news is good news. So I'm going to come back to this reports page here. And, I mentioned that there was a spot for you to upload the patron report. The survey questions are here in this Word document. The report itself is here in this Excel document. Let's touch base on those for a quick second. They haven't really changed from last year. So here is the report. This section here is pretty much the same. The questions are pretty much the same. Someone did reach out and email me, and I had uploaded the wrong file. Oh, where can I find the IMLS self-directed definitions? Barbara, I know you came here to listen and not work, but I'm going to ask you if you can drop the link in there for Sue. We'll get that for you, Sue, in just a moment. There you go. I love teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. So, here are the questions. I felt welcomed. I enjoyed taking part in library activities. I learned something because of activities offered this summer. This is a Word document here, a space to add your own logo if you would like to do this and share this throughout the summer. We're going to get there, Amy. The summer reading report as a whole has never, ever, ever been required. Never, never, never. Not even when I started working in libraries in 2012. But we will get to that. I've got a slide for frequently asked questions. So here all this information is. If you would like to do this, I've got people who like to do this, and it gives them information that has helped them make decisions for their community. And I'm going to show you the Excel document that you would fill out and upload. So here we are. So when you open the Excel document, which is accessible from the LibGuides, it's going to open you up to the second page. I do not know why. I am sorry for that. But if you click on the other tab at the bottom, if you're in an Excel document from any of us at the state library, I always suggest looking for the tabs at the bottom just to make sure there's not more. You're going to scroll up to the top. You're going to enable editing here. Sure. Okay. All right, and these questions correspond with the questions in the Word document. And you'll see there's already some numbers in here because the information is entered into survey responses on the second page. So all of the answers here are then going to populate on the first page. This is a great job for teen volunteers or adult volunteers that might be working in the library. Just going through, adding your little number here so you know what number survey you're on, because the first question is going to be like, how many survey responses? And say you got one from someone who was 12 to 18. They vaguely agreed with all of these questions. This is their first time participating in your summer reading program. This information has not populated into the appropriate 12 to 18 slot, so you're not having to manually count the information and then manually entering it. We did our best to make it as simple as possible. And again, all of those documents are found on the summer reports page. I just opened them in advance so we didn't have to go through the process of the great download. And also on this page, every year, from I think 2021 on, we make Canva fact flyer templates for the libraries to make use of with their summer data if they would like to do so. I think a lot of us are using Canva at this point. If you click on that link, it'll open up to the template link that I've attached there. If you click on Edit Template, after waiting a fair amount of time, it's gonna open and potentially populate. Here we go. Here we go. So what I've added up here is just some information about the fact flyer, some information about how to change the information that's in there. We also have a section suggesting some additional information that you might want to add because again, 190 libraries, 190 summer reading programs. Perhaps you did track books read, minutes read, hours read, and you'd like to add that information. You want to add some impact information. You want to add some information on your kickoff, finale, or any highlights. You're welcome to do that. And then here is the template. All of this information, these numbers that are in here, I just made these numbers up just to give you an idea of what this could potentially look like. If you have made use of this template in the past and you're wondering why this one looks so different from the other ones that were very colorful, it is because this is more accessible to people who perhaps have any visual impairments, and we are slowly updating all of our documents to make sure that they are accessible to people who might have a variety of visual disabilities, and we want them to be able to access and be able to read this information in the same way that anybody else can. So that's why this is going to look vastly different from some of the other templates that we've created. But this is here for you to make use of. And going back to the summer reports page at the bottom, there's a section here. This section has also been here for a couple years, on using your summer reading results and ways in which those can instigate positive change within your own library staffing and things like that and community. So I'm going to go back to my presentation. And we are going to go through these frequently asked questions. There is a tab to the frequently asked questions on the summer reports page, which I showed you, but I promise it's there. And these frequently asked questions, they've pretty much been the same over the last 3 to 4 years. Let's go on ahead and go through these. A lot of these have to do with summer reading and iRead, of which I know not all of you use, so feel free to tune that out, but some of you who use iRead might be here in the room. So the deadline to submit the summer reading report is always the first Friday in October. That is as far as I can push it to give people time to get the report done and submit it to me. I've got my own deadlines to then collate all that information and write up a report to send off. The goal is that if some of you do run summer reading programs through the first week of school, which is a real thing. Someone emailed me and told me that. So now you have essentially September, part of August, to finish up that report and get it in. I really can't push the deadline back any farther than that. Otherwise, I won't make my deadlines, and then other people won't make their deadlines because I didn't make my deadlines. It's very much a domino effect. Access to the iRead resource guide can only be granted to principal public libraries. But don't worry. As of the last time I updated this page, the downloadable guide is accessible for $15 on the iRead website. That's because the federal funds that we get, we can only use with principal public libraries. There's a link to a page in the director's handbook that explains all of that. The summer reading report is now and has always been optional. Before me, it used to be that a library would not get access to the resource guide code if they did not turn in the summer reading report. But that still doesn't make it optional, right? That's just if someone wanted access to the code, then they needed to turn in the summer report. But there's no blacklist, there's no negativeness if someone does not hand in the summer reading report. We were able to take care of that. We were able to make other changes so that folks could still have access to the iRead resource guide if they did not hand in the summer report. So don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. The information that is shared is going to be put into a larger report, of which I showed you 2024, and here you can take a look at 2023. Again, the summer reading report no longer has to be submitted in exchange for access to the iRead resource guide. You just have to fill out a form that's going to go up saying you want access to the guide. Once the resource guide link or the resource guide code has been shared, if you are not sure if you have downloaded it, you can follow these directions to figure out if that has happened already. Um, More information about how it is really important for those libraries that are systems or for those library departments that sort of work independently of each other, that the code is only redeemed one time. We at the state library pay for every single redemption. There was one year where one library redeemed the code 11 times. So please try not to do that. If you're unsure whether or not someone from your library has redeemed the code, you can send an email to iRead or ask. And the codes expire June 1st of every year so that we can receive a final invoice to know what final price to pay. And if you don't know if someone in your library received access to the iRead resource guide, send out an email. Start by asking. And then we can go from there. So, sorry, I had to move my chat out of the way to read through that. So no, Amy, it isn't required. The patron report isn't required. The summer reading report as a whole is none of it's required. Um, Welcomed, yes. Required, no. If you don't want to do the patron portion, don't do the patron portion. That's why it doesn't say required also on the form next to that section. You are not required to put something in there in order to send the form. And so that is it. That is the end. So I know we've had some great questions come in through the session today. I wanted to make sure that we left a lot of time for any questions that anyone might have. Oh, you're very, very welcome. And if someone has a question that's like hard to type, I definitely have been there. Feel free to unmute yourself and verbally ask that question. You can throw your hand up or something like that. I want to make sure that everyone here gets exactly what they need today. And I'll actually go back to the report because I suspect if there are any questions, it will be about that. So just going back down, just I know we answered your question, Amy, but see, notice how these have the word required in there. This is information I need if you're going to fill out the report. No required here. We welcome and appreciate it, but not required. Okay. If we use iRead for all ages and give people the opportunity to register themselves and their whole family, not required, does that count as running a family program? And 0 to 5 and 6 to 11? Let me reread that to make sure I understand. So if I'm reading this correctly and understanding, folks can go into, do you mean Read Squared, Lauren? iRead is the like graphics and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. There's so many names. There's so many names for things. I don't blame you at all. So if people go into Read Squared and they can choose how to register themselves, how do you count that? So the way that I would count that is the way that it's populating in Read Squared. So yes, that means that you are running programs for 0 to 5, 6 to 11, and families, and you're allowing people to register for themselves. So what I would do is I would go into Read Squared, pull your reports. If you had, 50 people register for 0 to 5, 50 people register for 6 to 11, and 25 register for family, then I would write yes for 0 to 5, yes for 6 to 11, yes to family, and then put those corresponding numbers in there. If you're using Read Squared, that's going to give you the numerical information that you need. So that's how I would report that. Awesome. Give it another minute. I know typing sometimes can take a minute. All right. Well, if that's it, you guys get 14 15 minutes of your day back to do whatever it is that you might need to do today. Thank you for coming. Yeah, people thank Barbara. I've been lost without Barbara today. I was unprepared for that. Feel free if you have any follow-up questions or things occur to you to send me an email. Again, I'm gonna get this recording up. Give me about 5 or so business days, just so I can get the captions situated and get everything re-uploaded. I am here to help you through anything that you need this summer. I am best reached via email. As you'll see, I'm home today. We are working on a hybrid schedule. Happy to set up a Zoom meeting or something like that if anyone needs some visual assistance. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've all been having a great summer so far. And happy Friday Eve.